Now to a story of extraordinary perseverance in honor of Holocaust Remembrance Day. Tonight at sundown marks the start of Yom HaShoah on the Jewish calendar. It commemorates the millions of lives lost during the Holocaust. For our award-winning series, Note to Self, we're hearing the story of 83-year-old survivor. His name is Alfred Münzer. He pens a letter to his younger self, reflecting on his journey and the importance of fighting injustice.
Dear 3-year-old Bobby. Yes, Bobby, not Alfred. Alfred was the name you were given at birth by your parents. Alfred reminded them of the Dutch word vrede, meaning peace. And peace is what everyone longed for when you were born, 18 months into the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands.
The Nazi machine broke the back of Dutch resistance in 4 days.
When you were 9 months old, the threat to people who were Jewish, like you, grew urgent. Your family was forced to leave their home and go into hiding to avoid being captured by the Nazis. You were separated from your family and handed over to an Indonesian man, Tole Madna, and into the arms of Mima, the Indonesian nanny who had cared for Tole's children. From then on, you were called Bobby, to help hide your identity. You slept in Mima's bed, and she kept a knife under her pillow, vowing to kill any Nazi who might try to come and get you. Under the family's loving care, you grew from a helpless baby to the little boy you are now. Soon, dear Bobby, before you turn 4, your life will suddenly change. You'll be introduced to a woman you've never seen before and learn that she is your birth mother, there to reclaim you. She had been liberated after 2.5 years as a prisoner in 12 concentration camps, including Auschwitz. You learn that you and your mother are the sole survivors of your family, and that the Holocaust took the lives of your father, Simcha, your sisters, Evia and Leah, and your uncle, Emil. Your mother will provide you with a childhood filled with new adventures and tell you stories about your family before it was torn apart by the Nazis. When you turn 6, your mother will enroll you in Hebrew school and encourage you to recite the Kaddish memorial prayer at the synagogue on the anniversary of your father's death. From then on, you'll do so every year. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yemru. Amen. Shortly after your arrival in America, at 16 years old, you'll watch the news and see brown kids beaten trying to attend a school designated for whites only. You'll realize that America isn't immune to the kind of prejudice that fueled the Holocaust in Europe. That's when you'll decide to add your voice to the fight against injustice, following the example of Tole Madma and his family. Many years later, when you visit Tole shortly before his death, you'll ask him why he risked his family's lives to save a Jewish baby. He'll shake his head and reply, "What else was I to do?" For him, there was no choice but to stand up to hate. You'll share Tole Madma's lesson with thousands of young people when you join the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum as a volunteer. You'll want the world to know your story and to learn that even when surrounded by hate, a hate that took the lives of 6 million Jews, it is possible to stand up and do what is right. As one of the last living witnesses to the Holocaust, at 83 years old, you'll be deeply distressed by the resurgence of antisemitism, but you'll continue to share your story, to encourage people, to build a world where no one is viewed as the other, a world free of hate and bigotry, a world that celebrates our common humanity. When you and your dear life partner Joel light Shabbat candles every Friday, you'll find peace in the knowledge that you have lived a life worthy of the memory of your family, and take pride in knowing that you're still doing all you can to make this world a little better. Love, Alfred.
Love, Alfred, also known as Bobby. Every time I see pictures of Auschwitz or the Holocaust, it's so chilling and so disturbing and just so deeply sad.
So sad. It's such a well-written
Yes,
itself.
beautifully done.
The moment where he talks about the people who protected him when he was a baby.
Yes.
We all like in our imagination to think that we would be that person in that time and place.
Yeah.
It's so haunting to think that so many people were not
We're
that
not.
person.
But I like the guy who said, "What was I to do? What was I to do?"
And that type of impact on him created his life's work, which is powerful. That's what we are. We're all reflections of our past experiences. And it turned him into such a great man, doing great things.
Yeah.
And standing up for injustice.
Note to self, guys, is
Standing up
always...
against injustice.
Exactly right, Nate. Note to self is always one of the most favorite things that I think we do here. They're always very powerful. The pictures here really painted such a big story, graphic story.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Elisa Candiotti,
It's really
who did
good.
it, Alyssa, and Brian Cunningham, one of the great editors here. Because
Yeah.
viewers watching at home, those pieces are very hard to do.
They are.
And they seem to nail it every time.
That's right.